So something funny happened. Well, it really wasn't that funny actually. I kind of got in a car accident with myself. I going down my road here, live in a small street, 25, 35, I actually don't even know. I'm always going real slow. And I notice as I'm approaching my house, I've got a car behind me, driving pretty close. You can just kind of tell sometimes a car is just really irritated with the fact that you're not going fast enough. I'm not going to go speeding through this area. Every single house has like 20 kids in it. It was a nice day, lots of people were running around, and I'm almost home. So you know what? Screw the fact that they want to go 5 miles an hour faster as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, I go and I'm about to back into my driveway. I always back in my driveway. I'm that guy, okay? I don't like to pull straight in because I want to be able to pull out and be able to see everything without my vision being incumbent, I don't know, whatever. Because I've got some bushes out here. It doesn't matter. Point is, there's a lot of kids in this neighborhood. As I just said, I want to be able to pull straight out so I don't hit somebody. I'd want someone else to have the same courtesy to not hit my kid if they were playing out on the sidewalk. So I always like to back into my parking spot. So this car that was behind me, I have to, of course, to back in, I have to pull up at a bit of an angle and then back in. You guys know how to back in, I hope. This car wasn't having any of it. This person turned out to be a young girl, and I'll tell you why I know that in just a second. As I went ahead and pulled to the left just a little bit in the street so that I could get an angle and back in, she decided that she had to get around me in that moment. Now, in her initial defense, she probably thought that I was pulling into the driveway across the street from mine. Fair enough, I can understand why she'd think that. But why she felt it would have been appropriate to jump the freaking curb to get around me in that moment, because she couldn't wait 2 more seconds for me to pull into the driveway she thought I was going into, I'll never know. And I think as she realized that she was doing something kind of stupid, she decided that the only course of action for her in that moment was to lay on the horn. And so she's laying on the horn, and she's like 5 feet away from my window, because at this point I'm like, sort of at a 45-degree angle in the street, and she's half on the curb, half in the street coming around. And so I'm looking out the window like, what are you doing? I'm not mad at her. I'm not flicking her off. I'm not laying on the horn. I'm confused. And I see it. She looks like she's about 12 years old. And she's looking at me with this half angry, half terrified face like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, what the hell? So, that wasn't the accident. Nobody hit anybody. Well, she hit the curb. The car starts to slow down, and I'm backing into my driveway at this point in time. And I'm looking like, whose car is this? Whose kid is this that I need to go over there and say, hey, teach your kid how to drive? And they're slowing down. I'm like, what is she slowing down for? Is she turning into someone's driveway? Is she thinking about stopping and coming and having a few words with me about the curb being too close to my car or something? I didn't know what was going on. And so while I'm sitting there backing up trying to figure this out, boom! Crashed into my own car. Now I was going like, half a mile per hour, but I did hit my own car. There was no damage, but it was kind of embarrassing. And it was like, hey, you're all worried about hitting somebody. That could have been your freaking wife, or your kid, or your other kid. I had another kid. I'll tell you about it in just a minute. Cue the obnoxious music. Okay guys, what's going on? So this is the No Guns in the Kitchen podcast. Not really a podcast, kind of a podcast. Stream of consciousness is more like it. I have another gun with me here today, another unloaded gun with me here today. This is sort of a, this was just a parts build I did, I think around the beginning of the pandemic. A lot of you out there probably in the same boat. You decided to start building some rifles around the time the world started to end. And this one, I would classify this definitely as a budget build, but I was able to do this with mostly 100% parts that I already had. What did I buy for this? I think I bought the stock. I bought a different charging handle for it. Actually, no, I think I had this one lying around. That's it? I think that's it. I think I had everything for this. Maybe the bolt carrier group, I'm not sure. Anyway, spray painted it, but you can't see that because this is going to be in black and white. But yeah. It's key mod. It's my only key mod gun anymore. But yeah, don't have anything that goes on it, but that's okay because I don't plan on putting anything on it anyway. That out of the way, guys, I hope everyone is doing well. We're doing well. I'm a little tired. As I mentioned right before the obnoxious music, we had another child just a couple days ago. I don't even know what day it is. We had a kid a few days ago. His name is Maximus James Dotson, and he's doing well. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know what his weight is. It's like 16 ounces. Is that right? He weighs 16 ounces. That sounds about right. Everything went pretty well. We were in the hospital for a little bit, and then we left, and now we're home, and now we're not sleeping because it cried. And people say this, and they're just like, yeah, all the kids do is eat, cry, sleep, and crap. No, this kid literally, that's all he does. There's never a moment where he's just up chilling like, what's going on? It's like literally, I think, 20 minutes in his entire life so far, he's done that. It's always either sleeping, eating, crying, or crapping. But hey, right now he's sleeping, so thank my lucky stars. He is sleeping right over there though, and I'm watching him right now so that Mom can get some sleep, and his mom, not mine. My mom's probably sleeping too, but anyway, she's not here. But yeah, so if he starts to cry, he's coming in the video with me because I'm not redoing this. We're just going to keep going. And you might be wondering, Matt, you're really talking this loud with a baby in the other room? Actually, not even in the other room. Yeah, I am, because this kid can sleep through anything. It's insane. Usually, however, I need to be holding him, so if he wakes up, he's going to want to be held. Anyway, enough about that. Actually, he's good. Enough about that. Let's talk about some things that are going on in the world. Not too much, actually. A few things that caught my eye. First and foremost, let's see if I can remember. I should really write notes down if I want to do this and actually have something to talk about, but I'm not going to. But the flu, that's right, the flu. So I had talked about this in a live I did. Of course, I never saved my live, so it doesn't really matter. But if you happen to be part of that live we did on Facebook a couple months back or so, you might remember this. We had talked about the fact that some numbers had come out about the flu, and it was really kind of interesting. So as you guys probably know, we're in the middle of this thing called the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's changed a few aspects of our lives a little bit. It's been a bit of an inconvenience, to say the least. And one of the things that I thought was going to be really interesting as we got into this thing was looking at the numbers of people who've gotten the flu this year. And sure enough, we got some early numbers a couple months ago that gave us the numbers from 2019 September to December and 2020 September to December. And it went from like 60,000 to like literally 1,000. So huge stark contrast, and it really was it spoke of things to come. And sure enough, as we got some of the numbers back just the other day, we found that the flu is basically gone. And so why is that? Well, there's a number of theories out there. Of course, the predominant theory is just that we've all been wearing masks, so we haven't been getting each other sick. Fair enough, and I don't think that that's completely bogus. Some people, of course, think that it could just be that everyone who has the flu is just getting diagnosed with COVID-19. I'll come back to that in a minute. Some people think it's all just made up. I think that my theory is sort of a bit of a mix. Here's the thing. I can buy that. Listen, I'm not a scientist, all right, as I'm sure plenty of people will want to remind me. But I do think that we can use a little bit of logic and apply it to this situation. So the idea here is that the flu is almost gone because we all wore masks. Okay. So if that's the case, and the flu has been all but exterminated because we've all been wearing masks and all been social distancing and all been doing all the things we're supposed to be doing, you don't get to say out of the other side of your mouth that the reason that the COVID-19 virus is so bad in this country is because we haven't been wearing our masks, we haven't been social distancing, and we haven't been doing all the things we're supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? Either we've been doing those things and they help prevent the flu, or we haven't been doing those things, in which case, what prevented the flu? You see, both can't be true. I think that it's probably a culmination of a lot of things. I do think a lot of people would be misdiagnosed with COVID-19 when it actually was something else. I do think that a lot more people actually have COVID-19 that are asymptomatic, and so you go in with any ailment that could legitimately be that ailment, and then you get positive for COVID-19 even though the symptoms really had nothing to do with COVID-19, and I think that would make sense considering the fact that they've come out and said, look at all these different things that could be COVID-19. Well, maybe all those things weren't COVID-19 related. You just happen to have COVID-19, and you also happen to have something else. Okay? Again, before anyone decides to report this video, I'm not denying science, so calm down. I'm just very interested by this. So I think it's very likely that the flu doesn't spread as easily as COVID-19. People have been wearing their masks and everything like they're supposed to, and that's probably a lot of the reason. And I do think that there was a lot of misdiagnosis out there. So I think it's as simple as that. And you can't even necessarily say it's a misdiagnosis, because if you go into the hospital with flu symptoms because you have the flu, but you also happen to have COVID-19, them saying you have COVID-19 isn't a misdiagnosis, it's just, I don't know, is that a misdiagnosis? I mean, you have COVID-19, at least theoretically in that case. You also happen to have the flu, which they didn't test you for, because if you walk in, you're sick, we're in the middle of a pandemic, they give you a COVID-19 test and it comes back as positive, guess what? You have COVID-19 and all the symptoms are going to be attributed to that, even though it might have just been the flu. I hope that was clear. Anyway, so that's what's going on with that. I think there's a lot of people who want to use that information to push their narrative or another narrative, but really it's probably a culmination of all that stuff. I just think it's very interesting. So, yeah. What I don't want to see is every single year rolls around, we're like, oh, the flu might be bad this year. Remember when we, back in 2020 and 2021, we decided to all wear masks for a year and a half or however long it's going to end up being? Yeah, let's do that again, because that seemed to work. I don't want to see that crap, okay? We can't do this forever. Simple as that, my opinion. All right, moving on to something non-COVID related. But, I don't know, just as infuriating, funny, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know how to say this. Mr. Potato Head is getting a sex change. Or not getting a sex change, getting a sex removal? Let me explain. So you guys probably already heard this. Mr. Potato Head is now going gender neutral because Hasbro, I don't want to say Hasbro, I don't know if it's Hasbro. I don't know who makes Mr. Potato Head. Check it for yourself, or maybe I'll put something on the screen. Probably not. I'm not going to bother looking it up. Whoever makes Mr. Potato Head, you know the toy, the potato that's a person or something? Mustache and all that, he is now going to be gender neutral. They used to have like Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Darth Vader Potato Head, Frankenstein Potato Head, I don't know. They had all kinds of different potato heads. But they don't want to have the Mr. anymore because that's bad. I don't know. I don't know if it's a bad thing to teach kids that there's guys and girls. I don't know if maybe they thought that it would just be easier. We'll just make a potato and then you just give it a mustache, or you give it a dress, or you give it whatever you want. Maybe that was the game plan here. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably going to share with you a screenshot of an article that I didn't read, because there's no way in hell I'm going to take the time to read the story about making Mr. Potato Head gender neutral, because holy crap, I don't even know why I'm talking about it. It's so stupid. Doing it is just about as stupid as getting really upset about it. Let me put it that way. A lot of people in the comment sections of these posts say, oh, they've gone too far this time. It's like, really? This is where they go too far? In reality, guys, it's a little bit of woke culture. It's let's do something that's sort of trending right now. And the reality is, whether you're in the comments angry, or in the comments praising them, or in the comments laughing at everybody who's either praising them or angry, guess what? You're talking about him. That's right. For the first time in who knows how long, you guys have got Mr. Potato Head trending. All right? And that's publicity they couldn't possibly pay for. And even though they are, because they're rebranding, changing Mr. Potato Head to Potato Head, I assume. I don't know what it's going to be called. Again, I didn't read it, but it's still funny to me. It's like, all right, Mr. Potato Head. Maybe they'll probably sell more than ever. Who knows? Anyway, there was another thing I wanted to talk about, but I will never remember what. Oh, Halo. So the Halo video game is now going to be a show. Apparently this news dropped quite a while ago, but I had no freaking idea. And it's going to Paramount. So you guys have been seeing all the ads. If you watched the Super Bowl, you saw all their stupid ads. And don't get me wrong, I love Patrick Stewart. I watched Star Trek Next Generation as much as all the other nerds did. But I just found those commercials to be stupid. It's like, I don't know who half these people are. You know, I'm talking to the people in the room with me. I'm like, who's that? Who's that? It's like, I don't even care. Don't even tell me. It's like, they're going up Paramount Mountain. Okay. Great. I don't care. I'm not going to pay for another freaking service. Except now they're putting the Halo show on there, so I will probably pay for another freaking service. It ticks me off. But that's the way it is. This will likely be their Mandalorian. In other words, the thing that gets everyone to sign up for it. It's supposed to come out in 2022. I don't know anything else about it, but I'm lightweight stoked. I played Halo a lot. I'm not a big video game person, but it's one of the few games that not only I played a lot, but I played a lot with my friends. My brother and I played. Can't even tell you how many hours we logged on Halo 3 back in the day. Yeah, a lot of fun. So hopefully they've been talking about. I remember like 10 years ago they had talked about making a film with what's the guy Jackson, the guy who did Lord of the Rings. They were talking about doing a film with him. And then, I don't know, it all fell apart. So they've been talking about doing some sort of show for a while. This will be live action is my understanding, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a series, so hopefully that's cool. There was something else I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to remember what it was. I want to know from you guys, though, was I in the wrong here? That's what I did want to bring up. Back to my little fender bender with myself earlier. I understand that hitting my own car was my own fault. Okay, I'm not blaming anybody else for that, obviously. What I am curious about, though, was I in the wrong for pulling up to the left to back into my own parking spot? Because I had mentioned it to the wife, and she had said, oh, well, maybe if you see someone behind you, you should just pull straight in. And I'm like, well, I should be able to back into my own parking spot. And she should be smart enough to know you don't jump the curb to get around somebody. If it's an emergency and it's an emergency. I don't know what's going on with her. She's going the opposite direction of the hospital, so I don't know what kind of emergency it could have been. But hey, I don't know. Stupid. And the other, I forget it. I don't care. I won't get into that because I have other neighbors, and for the most part, I love all my neighbors. All cool people. There were a lot of dogs running around this neighborhood, though. They all seem to be pretty well behaved, but it's like there's like 5 different houses. There's dogs. And there's no leashes, and every single house on this street has a dog. We have a dog too, but it's like. Should people be leashing up their dogs? I don't know. I don't really care. As long as they don't come in my yard and mess with my dog, I guess. It's all good. Do you guys leash up your dogs? I don't have any other good questions. Oh, I did get some questions. So I had said last week, or whenever I did my last one, that I wanted you guys to ask me some questions. I got like 4 or 5. 3 of them were really stupid. 1 of them was kind of stupid, and 1 of them was good. I forgot the good one. The kind of stupid one was, do you think that guns will be made illegal in the next 4 years or whatever? I don't know if you meant to be more specific about that, like a certain type of gun. I do think we'll see gun control. I mean, they're going hard on it right from the get-go. So I do think we'll see some gun control come down the pipe. And if they do it, especially within the next 2 years, there won't be much to stop them. No, I don't think that all guns will be banned, but I do think that we'll see a lot of stuff, this guy included, being banned from at least being for sale. I may be able to keep the ones I have, but who knows. So that's about it for that. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'll talk about gun control as it pops up specifically. And I did have someone else said something in the comment section of one of my posts saying, maybe you should do more videos talking about the gun control stuff. In all honesty, guys, and I know this is going to sound dramatic, it stresses me out. It really does, because I really hate to see the direction the world is going. And actually do something like this is sort of a way to in sort of a funny way to talk about some of these things happening in the world in a way that it won't stress me out too much. This is supposed to be a relaxing experience for me. You guys are watching it, and I hope it's entertaining for the 7 of you who actually watch these. But the reality is this is more for me than it is for you, because it's an opportunity for me to get some of this stuff off my chest and talk about it in a somewhat humorous way. I think he might be stirring a little bit. Let me see. Oh, he's doing fine. You guys thought I was joking. I'm not editing any of this. I'll put something up fun for you guys to look at while I'm off screen. That's all I have, guys. In all honesty, I really do appreciate those of you who watch. please send me messages with any questions you have. That other person who has a good question, I'll look it up and I'll write it down next time so I can actually answer what it was. But I do appreciate those of you who did message me and bother, even though most of you were just joking around. I do appreciate it. If you guys would like me to go in a different direction with these videos, let me know. I will take it under advisement. If you think I should stop making the videos, let me know. I'm pretty much committed to doing it at this point. I've had a few people give me about the same advice on this. They say, you know, it was roughly, just keep doing it. It will get better, and you'll find the direction, or you'll stop enjoying it and you'll just stop doing it, in which case no harm, no foul. It doesn't cost you anything. And that's true. It's really hot in here. Why is it so hot in here? All right, bye guys.